We have our friend Peter Thiele joining us now, branding expert, news talk expert, voiceofpeter.com, with us right now. How are you?
I'm good, and you know how much I hate to say this, Kevin Miller, especially here on KIDO.
My man.
I was right again.
Yeah.
I was right. Is that Kamala Harris needed to be elected president of the United States? There were two demographics. Black voters voting 90% or more of that community, voting for her with a huge turnout, and Catholic voters. So Kamala Harris had 92% of black women voters, but only 77% of black men. Not good. The other thing was Catholic voters, and this was a complete debacle by her. She did not go to the Al Smith dinner, which benefits Catholic charities. It has been a tradition for presidential candidates to go. It's a wonderful thing, raises millions upon millions of dollars for the wonderful work the Catholic Charities does on a daily basis across this country. And she opted not to go. And some Catholic groups all of a sudden said, well, if she's not that interested in us, we're going to tell our people. And Catholic voters, it was 58% of Catholic voters went to Donald Trump. And people often think, well, aren't they kind of monolithic? No, Catholic voters are really diverse. I know Catholic voters who are pro-abortion rights, complete left-wingers. I know very conservative and all in the middle. It is not an easy group to pin down. And so with those two things, that's why she lost. And there's another thing, and I've not seen the data since yesterday, but I think this is going to hold true, since we're waiting for mail-in ballots. There's not one county in the United States where Kamala Harris did better than Joe Biden 4 years ago.
Our great friend Peter Thiele joining us, voiceoverpeter.com. Have you ever seen anything like this in your life? To me, it brings me back to 94. Some say Bush 88. I think Reagan 84 is not really a correct comparison. You're a man of politics. What say you?
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen something like this, and it basically came down to a couple of reasons. Is that Kamala Harris, even though she'd been vice president since 2021, and really in the lexicon of Americana since 2019 when she began her run for president, and she had her starring moment at the Brett Kavanaugh confirmations. The big complaint and some of the data that came out is that people didn't know her. And they ran the same type of campaign, the Democrats did, that they did with Hillary Clinton, with Joe Biden, where the candidate was not out front everywhere. You saw her husband. You saw Kamala's crazy show kick girl guy, Tim Walz, and his Looney Tunes bride. It's all about messaging and all about stuff. And when you're the candidate of joy, which was quote unquote her brand, you can't spend the last 2 weeks yelling at voters to vote for you. And then if you don't vote for you, you're a Nazi. That's not a way to garner, or you're a misogynist. Did you see the footage of Morning Joke and Al Sharpton?
I did.
Yeah, there was a lot of, basically was talking down about about voters that are of certain groups, Hispanics and blacks, who and didn't vote for Kamala because they were, and it was just literally, it was like plantation bosses, the way they were talking down about somebody that would choose someone to vote for. It's an American right. You are a citizen. You go and vote. Doggone it. You can vote for whomever you wish, whether I agree with you or not.
I agree. Peter Thiele joining us. Take us inside Trump world. You've lived in New York. You're a player. What is that world like?
Yeah, here's I think Trump learned something, and it took him about 2 years when he was president the first time, about how staffing is policy. And so right now he is getting the transition rolling. They've got to hire like 4,000 people and these political positions. So they're going to quickly go out and try to have these jobs filled by January 20th. Frequently, as we have learned, some of these jobs do not fill until till March of 2025. So they're going to be going out and doing this. But Trump now knows that you have to have the right people who are on the same page, who are capable, adept leaders to take this on. And Kevin, one of the things that the day before the election was the craziest thing I've heard in a long time. There were members people on CNN and MSNBC saying that you had to vote for Kamala because Trump and the Republicans are going after the bureaucracy, and we have to protect the bureaucracy. I didn't realize there were people who were fans of bureaucracy. I've been living in a shell. Now, Trump's weakness has been, and we all have weaknesses. We all have things that it's not necessarily a bad thing or a character flaw or something like that. Trump's one weakness is that he has been and shown to be susceptible to flattery. And when people tell Trump, and they're in that inner circle, and they tell him how smart he is and how brilliant he is, that's real problematic. As somebody who's worked as a supervisor over the years, I took a job right after we worked together in Huntsville, and one of the staffers started just, telling me what a smart guy I was, like I'd been in the building for about 30 seconds. And of course, I am a smart guy. That's true.
You are.
But,
you are.
I don't want people to give me praise. Let's just go to work. Let's get things done. I don't need to hear praise. It's I just want to get stuff done, and Trump loves that, and it's a weakness. So in his inner circle, I will say this, is that the three older kids seem to be, they're able to tell their dad no, and they're able to say, Dad, no, you got to do this, you got to do that, and he listens to them. He listens to Melania. He listens to Barron. Tiffany, has always been sort of not necessarily involved in the political type world. I think she's close to her dad, but never really sort of an advisor to the dad. I think that, I think he knows the lessons. I hope that he goes and grabs people who are loyal to his agenda, which is to make America healthy again and to make America great again, to make sure that we go in and actually look at government inefficiencies and take those out. We have the bureaucracy and regulations damage all Americans, because we're paying into this, and our national debt's at a place where we better figure out how to address it now, or we are going to be Venezuela. And I don't want to be Venezuela, and Kamala Harris, of course, loved that.
Our great friend Peter Thiele joining us here. I'm interested, by the way, his website, voiceoverpeter.com. If you were hired to take care of the vice president, what is going on with her psyche now?
I have a feeling that she was forced into this by Obama. A little memory here going back when she was Attorney General of the state of California, and this is probably around 2014. It's Obama was doing some sort of a fundraiser or whatever in either San Francisco or LA, and went on and on and on about what an amazing woman Kamala Harris was. From all reports, she was never fully comfortable being vice president. And that's not a knock on her. It's a terrible job to be in. She did not get along with her staff. They talked about Trump going through staff. Her staff had complete turnover like three or four times. So we're talking about somebody, I think she's happy it's done. I think the people who are most upset are Barack and Michelle Obama, who obviously have been running the White House and having their people run the White House the last 4 years. Here's the other thing about the Democratic Party. You know, they said that democracy was on the ballot, right, Kevin?
Yes. Yes, Peter.
And 2016, Barack Obama and the Democratic machine told Bernie not to run and got him to get out of the race to make a way for Hillary. 2020, James Clyburn and Barack Obama in the background, sat down and got every other candidate to drop out of the race to coronate Joe Biden. This is after only two primaries. This was an absolute, we're the bosses, we're just picking this and we're going on, we're the machine. And in 2024, once they got Joe Biden out of the way, instead of having an open convention to talk about issues and vision, it was everybody got in line immediately to get behind her. The other thing about Kamala is that obviously she's not very comfortable in her own skin. That's why you get the nervous laughter. That's why you get the wine mom sort of thing. You think she has lots of signs around her home that say wine in it? I bet she does. And so, she is uncomfortable, so she laughs, even not at herself, over non-remarkably interesting things. I think that, her scripting, and this was changed during the internet, especially in the last decade with YouTube and with all the sources to find information on X and Facebook, Instagram, is that people are live streaming, just people in the audience, every speech. And all of a sudden you go in and Kamala's giving the same speech city after city after city. And obviously she's not writing them. Who is, I don't know. We'll probably never know. But you go to a Trump rally, and believe me, he has a teleprompter up there, probably with things they want him to cover.
Right.
But, Trump's freestyling from moment one. It's like going to a rap show and all of a sudden, 50 Cent's up there and all of a sudden Master P shows up and they start doing some freestyling. Trump freestyles like a rapper.
Peter, if people want to get a hold of you, voiceoverpeter.com, is that the best way to go?
Yeah, voiceoverpeter.com, and I really appreciate it. And Kevin, thank you so much for having me on.
No, we'll get you back to your regular slot next week. My apologies. We appreciate you, Peter. Thank you.
All right. You have a good one.
Our great friend, Peter Thiele.